recording cassette.
Hey, how the devil are you? Why are you order? Anyway, so what have we got today? Now this is the Sony compact disc CD recorder RCD-W100. There we are. Ooh. Right, this came out in 2003 and cost about 250 quid. Adjusted for inflation, you're looking at about £500. So not super expensive, but not cheap either. So it was quite a wedge coming out of your wallet. Now I've been using this for a few days now, trying to get it recording CDs and stuff like that. What a pain in the arse. Oh my God. I'm so glad technology's moved on with regards to downloading and copying and FLAC files and things like that. It's a lot easier now, isn't it, with computers? Now this laptop has, it's an older laptop, and it does have a CD-ROM and a DVD-ROM, whatever. So I can record CDs directly with using this laptop, but a lot of modern PCs don't have a CD-ROM. So you have to buy an external one. And after using this, I'd advise getting an external one for your PC. Don't use this to record CDs. It's a pain in the neck. Oh my God. It's a big learning curve, isn't it? Using these flipping things. Anyway, let's bring you in for a closer look and talk about what I like and what I don't like. Oh. And here it is. Ta-da! Right. So, what we got? We got power. Boink, boink. We got the headphone level, gain, volume, whatever you want to call it. The headphone out. Now, do you know what? I was pleasantly surprised with the headphone out. It isn't half bad. It's probably more for monitoring. However, I've been very happy just to listen to the CD through them. It's not as good as a dedicated headphone amp, but it's more than serviceable. Not bad at all. Then you got your play, pause, stop, a standard. Then you got your two trays and your two drawers, drawer A, drawer B. This one does all the playing, this one does the recording. It's worthwhile noting that on the CD synchro here, if you do normal, you can monitor your recordings. If you do high, then you can't monitor the recordings on high. Now, you can see some corners have been cut to keep the cost down. It's all plastic, and the motorized system is a bit clunky. Now, I'm sure it didn't make that noise before. It's a little whirring noise. It probably didn't make that when it was new. It's due to the age, and more likely. And then you got this one here. See, just a little bit clunky, but it does the job. It works fine. Right, so on here then we've got the time of the track. Let's just start it here. See, it makes a bit of a wah sound. And you've got your time of your track there, counting up. And then you can count backwards and see what's left on that one track and what's left on the whole album. Let's stop that. Then you've got your play mode here. So you can have shuffle. So you can shuffle your songs, you play it and it'll just shuffle between tracks. Then you got album. I'll come to album in a second. So it'll shuffle the whole album in. Then you got program. So I can choose whatever track. So I can choose track 4, track 7, track 11. There we go. And press play. And then it'll play through the tracks I've just programmed into it until you press stop. Right. So then you've got album here and you've got album select. Now, this is supposed to be for files saved on a data disk that you have MP3s on. So this one here will play data disks. However, right, so it was a pain in the flipping neck. So first of all, I recorded some MP3 in 320 kilobits per second. There you go, MP3. Put it in, didn't work. I'm like, oh, right, okay. Right. Looked at the instructions and it says, oh, you have to put .mp3 in capitals at the end of every song so it'll recognize it's an MP3. So, oh, have I really? Okay, I'll do that. Did that, put it in, didn't work. And then I was like, what? Let's have a look at the instructions again. And then it said, oh, your file names can't be longer than 8 characters. Right, okay. So I put them down to 8 characters. Popped them in then, still didn't work. I'm like, ooh. So then I went back again and looked at the instructions, and it says ideally you should use 128 kilobit per second MP3s, which is a bit rubbish, but I thought I'll try it, see if it works. So I done some tracks, recorded some tracks in 128 kilobits per second, still didn't flipping work. So I give up in the end. I'm assuming that there's something, maybe modern tech now, compared to this in 2003, it's just not compatible somehow. Whatever format is the disc is in, I don't know. But I just couldn't get it to work. But that's what that's for. Pain in the arse that was. Took me flipping ages and all. Or over here then we've got menu. So on menu then we have, you can make disc, and you can just go through the tracks here. Obviously we want it on. Deck A level, why would that be on -6 dB? Why would Deck A be on -6 dB? Let's put that to naught, I think. Then you've got optical level, which is on naught. Track mark, L sync, we want that on. Now why would level sync? Level. Why would level sync be -50 dB? I don't know, but maybe that's what it's set on. You can adjust that if you want to, but I'll leave it on 50. Then you've got silent pause on, direct, you can have that on or off, post gap, and that's it, okay? Then you got the yes and no, which I'll come to that in a second. Display, time, and play mode, same as the other side. You got your play, pause, stop. Up here then, so when you want to record, you pop your disc in here and pop your recordable disc in here. Now, here's another issue I found with it. So, the first disc I popped in was these. These are data discs, CD data discs, right? Which you record music on your computers all the time. My laptop is capable of recording on the CD using data discs. And this will play in most CD players. But I put that in and it comes up with an error, data disc. And I was like, what's that? So I went to the instructions, looked through it, and it's quite extensive, the instructions. You can't record on the data discs. You need these discs. Audio discs. So you can only record onto audio CD recordable. With that sign there. So don't try use data discs in this player. It won't do it, okay? So anyway, once you've got the right disc, let's take that off. Right. Once you've got the right disc, you press record, you've finished recording, okay, press stop, whatever, and then you've got to finalize it. So then you press finalize, press yes here, and then that'll run through, put it on the screen here, that'll run through a certain thing, finalizing, counting down, whatever, and then it'll say it's finalized, and then you can eject it. If you don't finalize it, it won't play on any other machine. Okay, so you've got to finalize your disc when you do it. Then you've got to erase, that's for CD rewritables. You can erase them there. You've got SBM, which is super bit mapping. Now this is for analog recordings. And from what I can make out of it, make from it, the instructions, the manual, is that this will convert 24-bit to 16-bit to go onto CD without losing any sound. I'm not sure how it does that. Whatever chips inside it. So I suppose if you was recording via analog RCA out from a machine that was putting out 24-bit, this would convert it using SBM. You just put that on, the light comes on. But that only works on analog, the RCA in. You have your record level here. Now I think that is also for analog. You don't need the record level for any digital in, not optical or directly from the CD. And then you've got your input then, and your inputs here, it's on analog at the moment. You see it's a digital there now, and then optical. So you put it on digital, analog, digital for this here, optical for the optical in, and then analog for your RCAs. Right, let's have a little look around the back. On the back, not a lot to see really. Okay, you got your power lead over there, some holes there to put your plug in. If you're in Europe or the US, you may think, 3 holes, what the deuce? So you got your analog in and out, and your digital, optical in and out, no coaxial on here. Now it's handy to have an optical out because if you wanted to stick an external DAC on it, you can. Obviously your DAC would need to have an optical in. And also having an analog out is good because you can then record to a tape deck if you've got a tape deck. So that's handy to have. Now, did you notice when it was spinning round how big the flipping thing is? It's as deep as it is wide. It's a very big bit of kit. So if you had like a normal hi-fi rack, you know, from back in the day, you may struggle to fit it in there. Anyway. Now, because of that optical out, I was able to record from my laptop and record onto here using this lead. I've used it before on other things. This is a USB to optical adapter. Obviously, you're only getting 24-bit 192, but that's more than enough for a CD. Okay, that's 16-bit. So 44 something or other, innit? Right, so this is a handy little converter I use. Links will be in the description. I do get a small commission, teeny commission, if you go through one of the Amazon links below. Even if you want to buy a pot of paint, still go for one of them, okay? Because I still get a commission. Fill your boots. Anyway, so yeah, I used that and recorded. So what have I got here? I recorded, there we are, I just broke that one. What did I drop? Right, so I recorded CD to CD, excuse the terrible writing, and I recorded from the laptop. And do you know what? They both sound as good as each other. I couldn't really hear much difference between them. I know you could say it's just zeros and ones, you know, but so recording from CD to CD from the laptop sounded pretty much identical. Very good. Now, the bottom line for me is this, is that would I buy one of these machines to record CDs? Not really, not really. It's too much of a pain in the neck. It really is a lot of faff, okay? I'd just rather, if my computer didn't have a CD-ROM, I'd just buy an external one. And they cost flipping heck about 10 to 20 quid for an external DVD-ROM, CD-ROM. So yeah, too much of a pain in the neck. However, how does it fare as just a standalone CD player? Well, what I'm going to do is compare it to my Yamaha, what's that? Is it S2700? If you haven't seen that review, I'll pop it up here. Boink, okay, have a look at that. Fill your boots with it. Now this was their flagship player back in 2006. So how will this Sony do against this Yamaha? It's only one thing for it, isn't it? A sound test. A sound test. Yeah, a sound test. Have a listen to this. Well, there you go. That was a close one, wasn't it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'd have to give it to the Yami, the flagship Yami, but I've got to say the Sony held its own. After many times listening to the track back and forth, editing the track, here I'd done it, editing the track, split it up into different tracks in here to try and hear the differences between the two. I've used closed back headphones, open back headphones. I've done it through my speakers so I can come to a conclusion. And my conclusion is the Yami is slightly better. I think when the track got busy towards the 3/4 of the way through, with a lot of instruments there, I think the Yamaha was better at pinpointing those instruments than the Sony was. And I think the Yami was slightly more airy and spacious on top a little bit, I think. And the Sony was a bit more laid back. But again, we're talking like really small amounts here. Very close indeed, and not surprising really. I mean, it was Sony and Philips who came up with a CD player in the first place. So it did really well to hold itself up against the flagship Yami. However, I would never want to use it to record CDs. Bugger that. Okay, too much of a faff. But a standalone CD player, do you know what? It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. I doubt you'd even need an external DAC for it, really. Sounded very decent indeed. Right, that's come to the end of the video. I will catch you in the next one.